They say your future is built at your desk, under bright lights and calendars, but I learned the truth in the dark. I used to whisper over candles, totems lined like soldiers on an altar, believing power lived outside me. Back then, I thought success was something you summoned. But there's a secret your bedroom is keeping. A quiet, private vow you make every night and every morning that decides whether the world opens for you or closes its fists. It's not seduction. It's not superstition. It's not the thing you think it is. Because the most powerful spell in your life isn't magic. It's agreement. And the place you sign those invisible contracts is between your sheets, on the edge of the mattress, in the glow of a small screen at 1:13 a.m., when you tell yourself, just 5 more minutes, or I'll try harder tomorrow. You think nobody sees it, but your life sees it. Your future hears it. I used to be a witch. Today, I want to show you the bedroom secrets that have been quietly, faithfully blocking your success, and how to break them before the sun comes up. This message matters because it's where the noise stops and the truth begins. Success doesn't only fail in public, it slowly unravels in private. We blame strategy, luck, timing. We blame the economy. We blame our past. But the real fracture happens in the quiet, where nobody claps, where nobody's watching. This is for the person who wakes up with a throat full of promises and a calendar full of plans, and yet every night slips on the same old story like an oversized sweatshirt. It's for the high achiever who can get it together for a week and then disappears into the soft gravity of a bed that feels more like a confession booth. It's for the hustler who can't figure out why their soul is exhausted, for the visionary who can hold a dream but not their own word. I'm speaking to the part of you that knows how honest the night can be. I'm speaking to the part of you that wants to call your bedroom what it really is, a temple or a trap. And before we go any further, hear this with tenderness. This isn't about shame. This is about alignment. I'm not here to tell you you're wrong. I'm here to hand you the key you somehow forgot you were holding. I used to trade in the unseen. I thought power came from objects and incantations. I know what it's like to think you need something beyond you to change, but the most overlooked transformation is waiting where you lay your head. When I was a witch, my nights had choreography, the match strike, the smoke climbing, the careful placement of stones worn smooth by belief. I could feel the weight of the world bend just a little under the focus of my intention. But there was a pattern I couldn't ignore. People who came to me asking for love, money, clarity would go home to rooms that spoke a different language. The moment I stepped into their bedrooms, I could see the invisible stories. Clothes that used to fit in a pile like a grave, letters from exes like anchors, a television watching them more than they watched it, a phone glowing where a journal could be, boxes under the bed full of things that hurt but felt safer kept than released. They were kneeling at altars without knowing it. Not candles, habits. Not potions, patterns. And every night they made the same offerings, their time, their attention, and their self-trust. I remember a woman, I'll call her Eva, who could pitch, negotiate, dominate, sharp lines in the boardroom, soft collapse at home. She'd fall asleep to a show that made her feel less alone, wake up in a fog, and stumble into days that always began behind. She didn't think it mattered. "It's just how I wind down," she said, eyes flicking to the dresser still humming on the dresser. But her mornings were a war. Her spirit knew the truth. She had trained herself to break small promises in the dark, and the daylight didn't forget. Another time, a client, Darius, told me he couldn't leave his past. He wanted to move on, to grow, to stop sabotaging interviews with nervous jokes. He also kept his ex's hoodie under his pillow, for comfort. The first night we talked, I asked him to take it out of the room, not as a superstition, but as an act of allegiance to the man he was becoming. He cried in the doorway, hoodie in hand, realizing he had been sleeping with nostalgia. Sometimes the thing under your head is the thing keeping your head down. The bedroom is honest. It holds our private negotiations. And there are 3 secrets most people never name. The first is the altar of clutter, not mess, meaning. The items you keep closest to you hold stories, and stories hold energy. A drawer of someday, a box of I'll deal with this later, receipts for a life you no longer want. Under the bed, your body lies above a museum of decisions you won't make. Your nervous system hears it, even when you pretend not to. That heaviness you feel when you wake up, often it's deferred choice pressing against your spine. The second is the midnight contract. It sounds like this: just one episode, just a quick scroll, just tonight. The word just is a spell of minimization. You sign your name in secret and teach your mind that your word is flexible. Success cannot grow where promises bend for convenience. You don't need rigid discipline, you need sacred agreements. Start with one. Pick one vow your bedroom will keep with you every night without negotiation. The third is borrowed energy. I don't mean romance, I mean residue. Objects, images, and inputs that leave you less than they found you. Accounts you follow that make you anxious right before sleep. Voices that argue in your head as you lay in the dark. Even the position of your phone on the nightstand can feel like a third presence in your bed, always reaching for you, wanting one more touch, one more glance. In the morning, you don't rise rested, you rise interrupted.
Let's slow this down and make it cinematic because it deserves reverence. Imagine tonight walking into your room as if you've never lived here. Pause at the doorway. Exhale. Ask quietly, what story does this space tell about who I believe I am? Don't rush. Just listen. The unmade bed might say, we end the day unresolved. The laundry chair whispers, we don't quite finish. The screen glows, I decide how you end and begin. The mirror catches your eye and reflects not only your face, but the way your shoulders round when you think no one will judge you for being tired. You don't fix a life by force, you realign it by ceremony. Trust this, your bedroom is a ceremony. Where your eyes land when you open them matters. What your hand touches in the first 5 minutes matters. The last sentence you tell yourself before sleep matters, not as magic, but as code. The code is this: identity precedes strategy. If your bedroom is coded for avoidance, your days will be compiled in avoidance. Recode the room, and you begin to recode yourself. When I left witchcraft, I didn't leave my respect for ritual. I kept it, but I stripped it of superstition. Ritual became a way of telling the truth with my body, repeatedly, until my life believed me. So I crafted a simple night and morning ceremony. At night, I close loops. I don't chase perfection, I chase closure. The bed is made, even if it's late, not because I'm neat, but because tomorrow deserves a beginning. The phone doesn't sleep beside me. It docks across the room like a ship I'll board with intention. I leave a glass of water and my journal by the lamp, so the first thing I reach for meets me with clarity, not chaos. I set out tomorrow's clothes, not as a productivity trick, but as a gentle message to the dawn. I'm coming. In the morning, I let light touch my face before any screen does. Even if it's cloudy, I stand by the window. That is a prayer. I make the bed, not to be tidy, but to declare a completed chapter. I keep one promise that I can keep every single day. For a season, it was no snooze. Not forever, just a vow to rebuild trust. And something miraculous happened that wasn't mystical. My days started arriving on time because I arrived on time to them. Let me tell you about the moment this clicked for a client named Rosa. She was brilliant, but her confidence leaked out between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. We didn't overhaul her life, we changed the script of her bedroom. She removed the television, she created a small shelf with a plant, a candle she didn't light, and a stack of crisp index cards. Before bed, she wrote the one sentence she wanted to carry into sleep: "I can be trusted." That's it. In the morning, she read yesterday's sentence and wrote a new one. After 3 weeks, she told me she felt like her future was memorizing her name. Interviews went differently. She wasn't chasing validation, she was keeping appointments with herself. Her promotion didn't appear from smoke, it arrived in the space her new agreements created. The cinematic truth is this: your bedroom is where you rehearse your relationship with yourself. If you rehearse avoidance, you will avoid. If you rehearse delay, you will delay. If you rehearse honesty, small, repeatable, tangible honesty, your days will start performing the same way. I need to confess something I rarely say loud. The night I left the old life, the night I took down the altar that had defined my power, I was terrified I would be empty. I gathered stones, cords, oils. I packed them into a box with a trembling reverence, the way you put away a photograph of someone you loved who couldn't walk with you anymore. I cleaned the table. The wood was bare, a raw plank with faint circles where jars had stood. The room felt enormous without my rituals. I sat on the edge of the bed and waited for the panic. It didn't come. Instead, something small and clear arrived, like a bird landing on a windowsill. It said, "Your word is your magic." It hit me so hard I cried into my hands. All those years I had been selling people elaborate ways to outsource what they already owned, the ability to make an agreement and keep it. The spells that worked had always been the ones that helped them organize their will. The rest was theater. I realized that the first and last minutes of the day were my training ground, not for mystical power, but for integrity. And integrity, it turns out, is the most underrated technology in the world. So I wrote a vow on a torn piece of paper and slid it into the drawer. I will not make promises I won't keep with myself, especially in the dark. That was my last ritual. I rearranged the room. I removed the looming mirror that kept catching me in half light, half truth. I placed a chair by the window. I put a book I wanted to finish on the nightstand and gave it the honor the phone used to have. I made the bed with fresh sheets, slid my hand across the fabric, and whispered, "We are starting over." The next morning wasn't perfect. I reached for the phone, caught myself, laughed. I kept my vow, and then I kept it again and again. Friends asked what happened. I couldn't give them a 5-step plan, only this: I stopped arguing with myself at night. The fight was over. My word won.
Here is the shift I want to offer you. Success doesn't start when you wake up. It starts when you decide how you will go to sleep. The bedroom is not a place you collapse into. It's a place you declare from. Not a place you hide. It's a place you align. You do not need to become a different person. You need to stop letting your room tell lies about who you are. Maybe for you, the secret blocking your success is the shrine of distraction on your nightstand. Maybe it's the cupboard of old loves under the bed, the story you keep sleeping with because you're afraid that if you let it go, there will be a hole where your heart should be. Maybe it's the snooze button that teaches you 10 minutes at a time that your urgency can be negotiated. Maybe it's chasing intimacy in a way that leaves you emptier, confusing temporary comfort for safety. No judgment, only an invitation. Make your bedroom a place that returns you to yourself. What does that look like in real life? It looks like choosing one honest change and letting it change you back. Move the phone, clear the space under the bed, make the bed even crookedly just to say, "I close what I open." Replace the last 5 minutes of scrolling with 5 minutes of breathing or writing one sentence about who you are becoming.
Tuck away what belongs to yesterday. Release what keeps pulling you backward in the dark. Protect what meets your eyes first in the morning. Guard the beginning and the end, and watch the middle transform. This is not about purity, it's about power. Not power over others, power over the one thing you can truly govern, your own agreements. When you keep a promise to yourself at night, you wake up already winning. When you meet the morning with a completed chapter, sheet smooth, phone asleep, and intention planted, you stop spending daylight paying off sleep debt and start investing it in the life that can finally catch you. Let tonight be a line in the sand. Walk into your bedroom and look at it like a mirror. If it reflects the person you were, honor them and make space for who you are becoming. If it reflects delay, give it closure. If it reflects distraction, give it direction. You don't have to overhaul everything. Your life doesn't need an explosion. It needs a vow. Tell your bed what it is, a sanctuary for renewal, not an escape from responsibility. Tell your nightstand what it is, a landing pad for clarity, not a stage for noise. Tell your phone where it belongs, in its place, not in charge. Tell your past where it lives, behind you with gratitude, not under your pillow. Tell your mornings who they belong to, you. I used to believe in spells. Now I believe in sentences. Simple, sturdy, lived sentences. I can be trusted. I close what I open. I arrive from my life. Let these become the quiet architecture of your room. Let them hang in the air where old stories used to dominate. Let them program the silence until the silence starts to sing in your favor. When you lay down tonight, take one breath and ask, what am I agreeing to? And before your eyes close, sign a different contract, not with pressure, with tenderness. Promise yourself one small thing you can keep, and keep it. In the morning, watch how the world notices the difference before you've said a word. People will think you found a new strategy. Smile. You'll know the truth, because your success isn't hiding in another seminar, another app, another miracle. It's standing beside your bed, hand out, waiting. Your word reaches for it, your room makes room for it, and the life you've been chasing finally has a clear path to your door. Guard your bed, and your future will guard you.